We are taking calls via Discord. Let's go next to Paul from St. Louis, Missouri. Paul, welcome to the program. What's on your mind today? Paul from St. Louis, Missouri, please select the correct audio device so that we can hear you. And last chance for Paul.
Hey, can you hear me now?
Yes, I can.
Sorry about that. I've got it on push to talk, and that was a mistake.
Oh, no problem.
I just wanted to quickly tell you I've got a bone to pick with you about your coverage of Biden. Recently, you mentioned that Trump is running for election under the party of law and order, and they don't actually respect law and order, but Biden actually does. I would agree with that to a certain extent, except for they've been looking for a reason to impeach him for a long time. They don't really have anything, except they could impeach him right now because he bombed Lebanon illegally without congressional approval. That's an act of war, right?
I think the problem with that argument is that in order to impeach, you have to say high crime and misdemeanor. And unfortunately, or fortunately, depending on your view, in the United States, presidents have regularly stretched and circumvented going to Congress for approval for individual acts, which some would say are acts of war. They talked about getting Bush on this when he went outside of what were supposedly the limited confines of the authorization for military force. They talked about going after Obama. I think you're going to have a real hard time impeaching a president for something that was so obviously, even if you say that it was wrong, it's so obviously and clearly a part of their official job. Trump going to Ukraine and saying, please announce an investigation into Biden, even if you don't do it. That's clearly a campaign ask. It has nothing to do with Trump's official role as president. Even if I accept what you're saying on the facts, and I don't have the facts in front of me, there's absolutely no history in recent decades for impeaching presidents for such obviously official acts. So I think you would really struggle with that.
Thank you, David. I do have one more quick question for you, if that's okay.
Sure.
I know you said you went to the White House and you met with Kamala Harris. I don't remember hearing you talk about what that meeting was about. I am still curious. Maybe there's a video out there where you talk about that. I'm not sure. Is there?
No. So yes, I talked generally about it. So that it was an off the record meeting, which means that we can generally, like in my discussions about issues, if I learn something during that meeting, I can just generically kind of talk about it. But the specific content of the meeting was off the record. I'll tell you, there was nothing particularly controversial. Everybody was just allowed to ask whatever they wanted. But I think the whole point of it was for people to feel comfortable, because there were other people with platforms like mine there. The idea, so that the conversation could be free flowing, was this is off the record, which you're told going in, right? So it's not like you show up and then they go, do you want to come and have an off the record conversation? It was off the record. So I generically have said what I talked about was concerns about the way in which the administration is not making their case well for their reelection. And I expressed concern and said some in my audience think that they're doing a terrible job. So that was what I brought up. But it was an off the record conversation. That's why I've not gone into more detail.
Sure. Thanks for that. It has felt to me, and I don't know if it's since then, that you're doing a great job covering the Trump trial, and I appreciate that. But I do feel like maybe you're going easy on Biden, especially with things happening in Gaza and Palestine. I really haven't seen you talk about it very much.
So listen, the meeting was in March. October 7th happened 5 months before that. And what I can assure you is that the degree to which I'm talking about that, because this is not a foreign policy show, has not changed at all since that meeting. So just check the facts on that, okay?
Will do. Thanks, David.
All right, Paul from St. Louis, Missouri.